So, according to the Vice President of the United States, free speech in the UK is quickly eroding, and we are at a danger of not having free speech in the UK anymore. I am totally unaware of this. I enjoy free speech. I'm pretty sure a lot of people enjoy free speech. There seems to be this consensus within conservatives over in the United States that immigration and democracy is falling apart. All these things is leading to censorship, and free speech is totally eroding from the UK. I totally disagree. I enjoy lots of free speech. I'm sure a lot of people do. And here we have the perfect interview to show how there is no more free speech in the UK. And after this video, we can decide whether or not there actually is free speech, or maybe there is actually no free speech. But before we jump into today's video, if you're new to the channel, it would be massively appreciated if you drop a like on the video and also subscribe. Let's get right into it.
Let's talk about JD Vance. He is in town, he's in Kent, I believe it is, at Chevening, the Grace and Favour mansion for the Foreign Secretary David Lammy, where he's spending a couple of days before holidaying in the Cotswolds with his family. He's had another dig about the lack of free speech, as he sees it, in the United Kingdom, saying he has raised concerns, and will continue to, that the West, including Britain, is censoring rather than engaging with different opinions. You might remember he's previously suggested that free speech is under threat in this country. What on earth is the bloke banging on about? Dr. Jan Halper Hayes is a former consultant to Donald Trump's presidential transition team in 2016, former chair of Republicans Overseas UK. Jan, great to have you with us here on LBC. What's JD Vance talking about? He's got this bugbear, hasn't he? Got this chip on his shoulder about Britain having lost the right to free speech. What is he talking about? Morning.
Well, good morning. It's funny that you think that he's taking a dig. Do you not think that when an 82-year-old man is arrested for posting something on Facebook, that is not a form of censorship?
Bro.
Well, it depends what he posts, doesn't it? Depends if it's legal.
Well,
What did that 82-year-old man post?
well, let's back up a minute here. If we are starting to scrutinize everything that someone says, if we're arresting them because
hold on
it
a
is
minute.
hate
What is
speech,
you mentioned a specific case there. What is it this 82-year-old was arrested for?
What did he post?
honestly, I can't remember, but what I do remember...
Oh, so you don't know what it posted. But whatever he posted was unfairly arrested. But you don't know what it posted. Wow. Well done. That right there shows the level of free speech that's been eroded in this country. Thank you very much.
You're telling me that it's outrageous that an 82-year-old man was...
Back up a minute.
No. Sorry, this is important because you just said this is an example of free speech under threat in the UK, but you can't tell me what he was arrested for.
I don't remember the
So why
exact...
you bring it up then?
I brought it up as an example that if we are scrutinizing what an 82-year-old man posts on Facebook,
But you can't assess
and
that
the
without
police
knowing
show
what he
up,
said, can you?
well, you know what? Let's just say I brought up a wrong example because I don't have the context
Could
of
it possibly
right
be
now.
because it's all a load of nonsense and free speech isn't under threat in the UK at all, which I think you've just demonstrated respectfully?
You know what? I've been there I've lived in the UK for 24 years. And yes, I do believe that censorship, it started with political correctness.
Right.
And as political correctness moved from accusing people of microaggressions and then people getting triggered over what somebody said, it has been a form of putting a speech straitjacket on people.
So what can't you say in the UK right now without being arrested that you think people should have the right to say?
I don't know what his obsession is with these conservatives from the United States continually without actually knowing anything that's going on, how it's happened, and the reason why people are being arrested. They have no idea what is going on. They just see this guy arrested for doing this, therefore free speech. Like, these people, they have no idea what is going on, and they don't even take the time to even research it. And it's spearheaded by the vice president. That's the worst part. It's like, you, as someone that says these things, people are gonna take it on board and actually believe you. Here you have someone that literally believes the vice president actually saying that, and she can't substantiate it. What is up with these conservatives over in the United States just believing the UK is falling apart and free speech is under threat? Like, I don't understand this. You just got this obsession. The vice president of the United States has said that I think 3 to 4 different times now, without ever using an example, without ever using anything that's actually tangible to justify it.
You know what? That's a very good question.
It is. Thank you.
It is. I can't answer that question. And I can't give you an example
What?
exactly. But see,
So you've
what
given
I
me an
find
example of free.
interesting.
Sorry, Jane. You've given me an example of free
Okay.
speech being under threat. You can't tell me what the person said.
Well,
I've asked you for one single thing that you can't
Right.
say in the UK without the fear of being arrested, and you can't think of anything. It's because Britain still is a country, compared to the United States, by the way, where free speech absolutely exists and always will.
Well, we both see it differently then.
But you can't give me any single point of evidence whatsoever to back up your idea.
Why don't you give me an example of how free speech still exists and censorship is not
Because you
there?
don't get arrested by the police for saying anything that isn't incitement or hate speech in this country. People are free to express their opinions. People are free to give their views. We do not have a police state in this country, unlike, I might say, the way that the United States is going under Donald
There
Trump.
you go.
Well, that's interesting because it's not going that way with Donald Trump. It was going that way, and it's now reversing itself.
Right, so banning journalists from the White House because you don't like what they've written, demanding the impeachment of judges because you don't like what they've ruled, sacking government officials because they've dared to criticise you at any point in recent years, defunding universities because they're not doing what you do, threatening law firms if they don't toe the party line, defunding media organisations that you think are against you, arresting students because of what they've written on social media, and ramping up checks of people entering the UK to check they haven't posted anything on Facebook that you don't like, doesn't amount to any sort of attack on free speech.
She's not going to defend that. She's not going to defend that. And also, I'm not even sure if he said this right. Trying to sue Harvard as an institution because you believe, an independent university, by the way, trying to sue them because they're being too woke or they're not teaching the kind of ideology that you think is right. That right there is encroachment of free speech, if anyone is. But she's not going to answer it. She's just going to probably evade it.
That's really twisting things without the
That's the
specific
fact.
examples. You're giving
They're facts.
no. You're giving examples the same way I gave the example
you
of
didn't
the
give any examples,
82-year-old
and I've
You
just
just give
given
an
you 10.
example.
No, you've just given me a very biased perspective.
Bias, it's
a
facts.
very
All of those things have happened. Which of those haven't happened? Which have journalists been banned from the White House under the Trump administration?
Have journalists been banned, or have they brought in alternative media that presents a different
I'm not talking about
angle?
have journalists from
How is that answering the question? You can't answer the question.
organisations like the Associated Press been banned by the White House? Yes or no?
Yes, they
Yes.
have.
Right. Have judges been threatened with
But wait a
impeachment
minute.
because the White House
Wait.
doesn't like their rulings?
Wait
Yes
a
or
minute.
no?
Let's not do it that way. Let's go back to
Because the
that.
answer's
And
yes.
why were they? Why were they banned?
But so okay, so
They
we
were-
accept right? Are we
Oh,
accepting the
so
rule-
a reason is now important then? All right then. Okay.
things I just
You know
suggested
what?
have happened?
If you don't let me finish, then we can't really have a conversation here because you've got a very biased perspective
I'm not
here,
biased at
a
all.
very angle.
I'm giving you facts, and I'm just asking whether you recognise that those things are true.
No. You know what? It's so interesting. Did we not have a bunch of fake news here? And in the U.S., we did. And why? Why did we have fake news? Because it was biased and it
Right.
was wrong. And so that is one of the reasons. You know, you're listing 10 things and cutting me off.
All right.
But then why was the Associated Press no longer welcome? Because they gave fake news that has been
but
proven.
Jan, you coming on the national radio station here on LBC and saying an 82-year-old man being arrested is an attack on free
can't
speech
do it,
without having a clue what he's actually said is not fake news at all.
It's not. It's
Okay.
not that I
Oh
haven't
my
had a
God,
clue. I
bro.
can't remember the specifics.
Right.
But the fact that
So how can you
police
know it's an
show up-
attack on free speech if you can't remember what he'd actually said?
Well, it's very interesting because you started this off by saying J.D. Vance had a dig. And so we don't get to have an intelligent discussion about whether there really is censorship going on if people are afraid to speak
But he has had a
out.
dig, and that's his own language. He said previously when he talked about the
No,
UK.
you called it a dig.
Well, let
He
me use.
made-
He has had multiple digs. He has. He had a speech like 5 months ago when he was talking to the all of EU. It was even saying the all of EU, the all of the Western countries in Europe was encroaching on free speech. He said it multiple times. He said it with the foreign minister 2 or 3 days ago. He consistently says it. Even when the prime minister went to the White House, he was saying it. You guys are encroaching on people's free speech. He has said it multiple times. Where have you been?
Let
A
me-
statement.
Okay, let me
He
use.
made a statement.
Jan, let
He
me use
made an observation.
his language previously. I need to beat up on the UK. So don't try and tell me that he's not having a dig when he himself has admitted that he, as he put it, needs to beat up on the UK. We've got to leave it there. Thank you very much, Steve, for coming on. Jan.
This, by the way, is a reflection of the average Trump voter, okay? They will support him, support, and then when you ask them, why is it that you supported him? They would, oh yeah, well, but the thing is, right, like they would be able to substantiate anything on the tariffs, on whatever decision he makes. They will just support it, and then they wouldn't be able to actually give any reason why that's support it in the first place. And this right here is a prime example of how stupid people can be when you don't actually do any research. You just believe whatever people you support. You just believe whatever they say. If Trump says it, or the Secretary of State says it, or the Defense Minister says it, or in this case, the Vice President says it, maybe you should actually take time and actually look at these countries, whether or not they actually are encroachment on free speech. Because I can tell you, as someone that lives in the UK, free speech is still well and alive. Trust me. But that's just my thoughts. If you like the video, drop a like. It will be massively appreciated. And also, if you're new here, subscribe.